Richmond.
Sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
Welcome, everyone. I'm Ross Girardi, and we're streaming live from Sound of Music Studios in Richmond, Virginia. And tonight you're in for a special treat. We've got Bruce Smith as our interviewee tonight. And Bruce is a musician, a family man, a partner here at Sound of Music Studios, and one of my oldest friends on the planet. So, Bruce, welcome.
Thank you, Ross.
How are you tonight?
I'm fine. I'm glad not to have to ask the questions tonight.
Yeah, you're in the hot seat tonight.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
It's very different.
So let's get it started. Bruce, we're still in this COVID-19 situation, right? Everyone's trying to do the best they can. And I got a text the other day from a guy checking in, and I asked how he was doing. He said he misses live music. That was his thing. Mm-hmm. So what's the impact right now with COVID-19 and music going on?
Well, it's made a few changes. Most of the venues are not open. There are a couple that are open that are indoors, and I really think they probably shouldn't be open, is my opinion. But there's lots of good stuff going on outdoors with the breweries when the weather is good, and you're seeing some good social distancing with them. And so I think kind of thing for now, the outdoor thing is going to be the way to go as long as the weather holds for a lot of the bands and those venues. So there's a lot of good places in Richmond to see music at the moment outdoors. I know the Broadberry Group's doing some shows over at City Stadium where you pay a fee and get to park your car, and I think they, don't know if they've already had Marcus King, but they've got him coming up, and he's awesome. So that's one thing people are trying out. So people are being really innovative. But I think the indoor thing's going to be problematic for the foreseeable future, and we'll have to see what the fall is like. So a lot of the bands have been into live streaming, writing, recording, getting ready for what we hope things are clear up next spring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. So when I got back into town a few months ago, the one thing I noticed was tons of breweries now in Richmond, and I think a lot of them had live music as part of their thing. So that's going to be an adjustment, and I hope a lot of them make it through this.
Yeah, we're all hoping for that. We want to have as many venues or more next year than we have now, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, so I've known you forever, Bruce, obviously, but one thing I don't know, and
hold on, I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick. I'm going to hop in and interrupt.
Yeah.
I just want to tell people how Ross and I met. So. Let's see, I went to collegiate, and I'm working at Burger Chef at Regency Square, and he shows up, and he's from Benedictine, which is a rival school. I see him put on his outfit, and I'm like, who is this guy? But we actually ended up being best friends, and we've been friends continually for many, many years through thick and thin in life. But, it started off with a negative perception on my part, but I was able to grow past that.
Yes, you did, and I appreciate it. And I always thought collegiate people might be a little snobby, but I learned otherwise.
They are. I'm just not.
So,
not all of them.
That's good. No, not all of them.
I'm sorry. You may continue with the interview.
So what I'm curious about, Bruce, and, the process of actually, you've been in tons of bands over the years, and you've written a lot of original music. What's the process when you sit down to write a song, and what inspires you for songs?
I'm a guitar person, so a lot of times it's going to be I'll be sitting around practicing guitar, and I'll come up with a riff that I think is cool. These days I would record it in the phone, and then I've got enough craft, I think I can usually take a riff and make it into a song. Being a riff-based writer, I don't think I'm as strong melodically, but another thing I do is try and write down cool phrases from books and things. And save these for song titles. So sometimes I might write some lyrics from a song title first, from something I'm inspired by, from a painting or a book. But usually it's all going to start with the guitar with me.
Wow. That's cool, man. So is it, I guess, different than other types of writing because it's got to fit in with the melody and with the song?
I'm a little more probably, I'm just basically Rolling Stones, Ramones, CCR based, and which all have a strong blues base. So most of the time with that music, you're not going to have the melody move quite as much. So it's more about the timing and the lyrics and the feel. So I could never write a Beatlesque melody. That would be a great thing for me as a goal, but I just can't see that happening with me. But I'm happy with what I do.
Interesting. So I would think a well-stocked subconscious with a master's or two in English, right? How many? Do you?
Yeah, one.
One, yeah. But
Used consistently at Sound of Music for my communication skills.
well, that's
that
comes
degree
in
helps
handy.
out here all the time.
Yes, I bet it does. Yeah. So do you draw on some literary background, or it just kind of fuels your thinking?
I used to read a lot of detective novels, true crime. Now I'm more into fantasy novels, probably because I want to get away from the world. But yeah, more that type of thing, or some poetry. Anything that's got some good wordplay in it and can be somewhat inspirational. And it's always good to steal like a bit of an idea and then elaborate upon it.
Very cool. So, all right, now you just touched on it, but this was a question I wanted to ask. So specifically, your big influences. And I know one, of course, is going to be Gun Club.
Well, I'm kind of weird because I'm that late 70s kid, and so I would be out buying a Ramones album and a Van Halen album at the same time and enjoy them equally and be happy about how ticked off my basketball coach would be if he actually knew what the Ramones were. So I would have that, and then I was also into some of the hard rock of the time, like Thin Lizzy and UFO. God bless Pete Way, the bass player for UFO, passed away recently, had a long and partying life, and now he's partying at heaven at last. People have been expecting it for a while, but he was a big influence just as how he looked on stage and how confident he was. So I always enjoyed that band a lot, and they wrote a lot of really tight songs. But I could go punk rock to blues to heavy metal. It's Motorhead, whatever. I was just a real polyglot with music.
Yeah, you were, and you turned me on. I would still be just strictly classical rock, Doors and Stones.
I'm that too.
But that too, right. But now it's a wider repertoire, thanks to you, including the punk rock, scene. That whole scene when we were coming up was in its heyday.
Yeah, you started to mention it, but I, of course, cut you off as usual. A long theme in our relationship. One big influence being the Gun Club, which were kind of a punk blues band from the early 80s, much more popular in Europe long term than they were here, but they were a big influence on the White Stripes, and I really like their concise, economical songwriting, cool riffs, haunting slide guitar, big influence on a lot of bands, if you're in the know.
Awesome, yeah. She's like heroin to me.
Yeah, all kinds of good songs about the dark side of life, which is where I tend to habituate myself.
All right, so that's the original influences. What are you listening to these days?
Pretty much what I used to listen to, because I kind of found out, I became that get off my lawn old guy around 2002. I was hip and current until then. And then I kind of mostly have given up. I'm familiar with stuff from being at the studio, or for my children who are, early 20s now. So I keep up in a way, but as far as what I'm going to put in the car, it's usually going to be older stuff. The one good thing about working at Sound of Music, though, is I do get to meet a lot of younger musicians or musicians from different types of music. And I really do enjoy, I might not go seek stuff out, but when I find it here or meet people, there are a lot of cool bands I really like the 922s or a drums, guitar duo who recorded here that are really raw and primal rock and roll. A lot of other ones. Graham Smiley's album is awesome. And then there's all types of other music we do here too. But kind of being at the studio is my window to new music. Otherwise, I would be even more petrified and a fossil than I am. So thank God for that.
Well, that's good. That's what I need, some infusion of new stuff, because I'm still listening to the old stuff, man. Black Flag, Gun Club, Ramones, Iggy Pop.
Well, but the other thing is I can go back now with, I got Tidal, and I can go back instead of having to buy everything and be committed to it completely. One good thing is you can listen and try stuff a little more easily than going into like the record store at the time and going, I'm going to invest in this.
Yeah.
So that's good for trying newer stuff. But a lot of stuff I try is like, hey, what's this one Black Flag album I never heard? What's this about?
Yeah.
And I can try that out. And so there's, or the Felt. From England in the indie, 1980s, a lot of bands. So there's stuff I discover that way, So that's kind of interesting too, that the technology has helped me there also.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So, Bruce, I know you're going to play a song or two for us.
Is it that time?
I think we're getting close.
Is it that close?
How we doing?
Let's get one more question on me. Let me warm up my mind.
All right. So we're in a recording studio. It's awesome place, huge place. I've been here many times. Actually came here last week to do some recording with Foxy Roxy. So we'll talk about that more. But
Yeah.
one question I've always had is, what is, when someone says they're mastering music, what is that?
Okay, so mastering is the last step because typically you create your music, you figure out what you want to record. Then in your case, in the case of this studio, come in here, you record or track it with John. Then John mixes it, which is putting the elements, vocals, drums, relation and volume, any special effects like that. Then mastering is really the last step where you prepare the music for the consumer. So one way, and I'm stealing this analogy, I forgot from where, but it's like you take a painting to an art gallery and you hang the painting, but that's not enough. You have to light the painting to best effect, and that's what mastering does, bringing out some bottom end treble, evening it out, making the sound more glued together, making sure it's the right volume for radio. It's not too soft, not too loud. So, and it also gives another set of ears to the engineer and the artist about what the music is sounding like. Because sometimes I'll get something and I'll go, I can't really, it would be better if they worked more on the mix before I work on it, so I can give that input to them.
Interesting. So that's one thing the studio does. So
That's my gig.
that's your deal, yeah. So the artist or so what we were doing is actually a podcast, and you've also, I understand, have done audiobooks in here too. Someone comes in, does the recording, they leave, and you've got the recording. That's when you do the magic to make it happen
Yep.
and get it back a couple days later.
I mean, there's just always all kinds of new stuff going on. Like I said, we've been doing a lot more live streaming lately. We did a really good metal band named Tel, T-E-L, last Saturday, and they were just awesome. Great people to work with, really tight, good songs.
So they
great
came in.
Great comments on social media about their performance and how it looked.
No, that's a great idea. So they came in, set up, and played as if they were playing a concert, but you guys were live streaming it out to the world from here.
And I will say, everybody with the band. Now, bands, when they come in this day and age, usually they've been in their little group pods. So if they've been practicing together and they're together, then they're on stage, they're comfortable without masks. That's up to them. The staff here will be masked. You and I are kind of part of our own pod since we hang out a lot.
Yeah.
And but normally we'd be masked, but we're
masked
6
up.
feet apart.
Yeah,
so.
we're practicing the old.
So we found a way to work around it, and people like live streams a lot. And it's a memento of a place in time where the band was, and they can use it for promotion going forward, or they get the sound recording too.
So one thing I noticed that I loved was we didn't just come in and do it and then leave. I mean, during setup and sound check and all that, we were getting some coaching on everything basically to help us do a good job. And that's, I think, part of the service you're providing is you were here, John was here, Lisa, I think you had an intern walking around, but all of that was helping us to just get going, man.
Well, I think that's one thing about Sound and Music. I mean, the studio's been around, I've been with the studio like 4 years, but the studio's been around, I think, like 25, and John's been here since the beginning. And kind of a hallmark for the studio before I was involved in any way was when I recorded there, is how the staff always made you feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that's continued. You know, we're a pro studio, but we're also kind of funky. We're not sterile.
Yeah.
And you can get as much input as you want in a positive way. So
Right.
that's one thing I always like about recording here myself.
Yeah, it's a laid-back but very professional environment. I mean, fun. You know, you feel like you want to just come in and hang out, basically. You know.
So Ross,
Yes,
what's it like being the interviewer?
I like it.
Yeah.
You know, it's good.
You're good with those hand gestures. I like that.
Yes, it's an old habit I've developed over the years.
So I'm gonna set you up here because we talked about it earlier. So, like, my dad, God bless him, he was a bit of a curmudgeon. He'd be 99 now, I think. He
Yes,
passed away a
yes,
few years ago.
right.
But when Ross and I used to do yard work for him, and he would inevitably be a little upset about how we did it. Can you imitate my dad for
Yes,
me?
you
You always do a good job on it.
He got Bruce. Ross is here. He goes, "Are you boys going to be going out doing the yard work?" And so one time we were out there and we couldn't get a stump up, so I'm like kicking it with my foot, tore it up, and He was amazed at the.
No, the one I really liked is he wanted to get these vines off these trees, but they were so overgrown we pretty much had to cut the trees to pieces, and he was pretty dismayed when he saw what his back fence of trees looked like after we were done. I'd probably be more, now that I'm a parent, I'd probably be a lot more sympathetic to his point of view than I was at the time.
But I got to give him great credit because not only did he paid us well. I mean, that was good.
And
good
he
money.
warned you about the old lady next door.
That was
remember?
Spying on us?
Yeah, he was like, she likes younger men, Ross. Stay away from her.
That's right.
All right, well, you take it. I'm all set
Okay,
up.
so Bruce is going to set up. I'm going to tell a quick story. Hopefully Bruce won't mind, but it's one of the funniest stories. So we had been out all night, had a couple of beers, and we're driving back up Patterson Avenue in Bruce's Camaro. Or a Honda. I thought it was a Camaro. Anyway, we run out of gas and on Patterson Avenue, so we're pulled over on the side of the road. And like 2 seconds later, a cop pulls over behind us. It's a female cop. And this would only happen back then. Today would be a whole different scenario. But she actually gave us a ride to my parents' house to get a gas can, took us to the gas station to fill it up, and we got back and filled it up. No
She made us leave the car there then.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, we had to walk. She drove us home after that.
Oh, okay. So I thought she left us with the. I don't remember that. But anyway, funny evening. All right, Bruce, what are you going to play?
Just a bunch of stuff. So, hey, so this is stripped down versions of these fabulous tunes. But the band I'm in now is called Blues Obituary. Fabulous guys in the band. On drums, Brian Collins. And we have our friend Charles on bass, who's awesome too. What's his last name? I'm blanking. Charles Nill. Excuse me, Charles there. So anyway, this first one's actually recorded for the album for the band Blues Obituary, and it's called The Train Song. I gotta stop this flood of vacant thought. To stop this flood, I shut it off. Lay my head upon the track. Let the train disconnect my head. Off with my head. I gotta find myself some peace of mind. Gotta find myself some railway line, a quiet place where I can wait and let that train decapitate my head. Off with my head. Electroconvulsive shocks, psychotropic microdots, Lativan and angry thoughts, they go hand in hand. Off with my head, off with my head, off with my head. So anyway, the words to that one.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right.
I won't say what the song's about. You can figure it out. But the words for that one were actually written by my friend Lynn Inman down in North Carolina. He gave me a big sheaf of lyrics and asked if I'd write some music for it. So that is The Train Song, which will be on the Blues Obituary album. Oh, probably next July at this point, the way things are going. But a lot of people holding albums. I did notice Deep Purple went ahead and released their new album, Whoosh. But I have not checked it out. Anyway, so this next one's the song I never found a place for. It's called Hand of Glory. And it's kind of Johnny Cash-ish in this, though I would not presume to be in that company. So anyway. Hand of Glory, won't you hear my call? Hand of Glory, won't you hear my call? Learn the 10 Commandments, then I forgot them all. Here's a preparation, I'm ready for to fall. Hand of Glory, won't you hear my call? Hand of Glory, guiding through the night. Hand of Glory, guiding through the night. Well, I see crooked fingers, bones of desert white, everyday desire clouding up my side. Hand of Glory, let me through the night. And I can see the footprints with our friends in the bar. And I can take a shot glass, map out all the stars. And if you're gonna go, make sure you go too far. Hand of Glory, turn my money green. Hand of Glory, won't you turn my money green? Gold is in the graveyard, eagles in my dreams. Fill my empty pockets, pay my go-between. Yeah, Hand of Glory, turn my money green. Hand of Glory, you have heard my call. Hand of Glory, you have heard my call. Learn the 10 Commandments, well, I forgot them all. Years of preparation, I'm ready for to fall, yeah. Hand of Glory, won't you hear my call? And I can tell the future from the beer rings in a bar. And I can take a shot glass, map out all the stars. And if you're gonna go, make sure you go too far. I got it, 6/9 chord. Here it is. So that was Hand of Glory. One day we'll find a home for that song.
All right, all right. I like that,
Don't
Bruce.
overdo it, guys. Anyway. So anyway, we'll go out with a little rock and roll song here called Get Hot or Get Gone, which was an old Venus Throw song, which is a band I was in. And before that, the Ardent Fools, which was really developmental. Because I was always lucky I played with musicians who were all better than me, who put up with me. So that was always a good thing. More grunge. Get hot or get gone. Get hot or get gone. What kind of trip are you on? Get hot or get gone. This is my theme song. Get hot or get gone. Get drunk or get dry. Get drunk or get dry. I wanna see you here. Get drunk or get dry. With a subtle high. Get drunk or get dry. Lily, you're alive with a sweet ennui. That don't mean that much to me. You call me shallow, no depth within, but you only get out what you put in. Get drunk or get dry. Get drunk or get dry. You gotta craft your high. Get drunk or get dry. You gotta craft your high. Get drunk or get dry. Get hip or stay square. Get hip or stay square. But I wanna see you there. Get hip or stay square. With a double dare. Get hip or stay square. Deliver your alive with a sweet ennui. That don't mean that much to me. You call me shallow, no doubt within, but you only get out what you put in. You're living your life with the sweet ennui. That don't mean that much to me. You call me shallow, no doubt within, but you only get out what you put in. Get high to get gone. Get high to get gone. What kind of trip are you on? Get high to get gone. It's a Thin Lizzy song. Get high to get gone.
All right, all
No charge for
right.
mistakes, but
All
that was
right.
fun.
Very good, Bruce. Good man. That was awesome. Thank you, Bruce. I haven't heard you play live in ages. But I look forward to when this clears off and your band is back out rocking. Yeah,
Just writing.
yeah, writing and preparing, mastering the craft.
Yeah, I don't know about mastering, but getting by is good.
Yeah, hey, good enough is good enough.
Brave in the attempt.
So assuming this or does clear off, what plans do you got rocking for the future?
Well, I want to keep working on the Blues Obituary album, and I'm currently mastering the and write more songs because I'm a dead lazy songwriter. I do like 5 a year, so you know that's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't hate any of them, so that's good.
That's good.
But you know, but yeah, I need to work on that. And right now, I'm mastering the Steam Train Hearts album, which is one that was kind of interesting because I just played guitar on it and did not have input. We were led by our illustrious General Wallace Dietz on that album. We've been working on it like, 3 years now. And it's almost done. I think our friend Kyle, who played bass on it, has probably forgotten all about it and will be surprised when he gets a CD. But anyway, it's kind of like indie 80s guitar rock, short melodic motifs and
Cool.
things like that, real melodic songs. So
Yeah.
Wallace did a good job writing them. And I'm mastering it now. It's sounding good so far. Play it in the car a bunch and see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, it's crazy. So occasionally I get in the car, got the iPhone, which is loaded with stuff, but even if it's not downloaded, I'll turn the radio on, and occasionally songs will randomly start playing, which is crazy. But the other day, one of your songs from Venus Throw just popped on. It was
It
amazing.
didn't make you jerk the wheel left or right.
Oh, it was good, man. It's the one I really like on that album, Raised Right, Gone Wrong. Is that-
Correct.
Yeah. That's good.
I have a song called that too, but I haven't found a place yet for it. Holding back on it.
Yeah. That's good. I bought it when it came out, of course, and it's
Bless you.
still on
I'm so
the
supported.
phone. So that's awesome. So Bruce, one last question, I guess.
We have more time, Rob.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we got 10 more minutes.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
we were coming down
Oh, man.
down to the wire.
It goes-
Okay.
it goes
I thought I
fast.
saw John with this
Oh, he's
secret
good.
signal back there. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's the question for you. What question didn't I ask you that I should have asked you?
Is this like a corporate interview
This
strategy?
this is corporate,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
But it's a good one. So, like, what didn't we talk about that we should talk about?
You should have asked me about my hair.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of unique hair.
Yeah, I haven't wanted to go out during the COVID and get my hair cut, so it's probably like the second longest it's ever been.
Yeah.
And Emily was going to have time to cut it today, so it was a little more tamed. But my San Antonio Spurs, God bless the Spurs hat, is taming it for us right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that helps out, I'm sure.
But I found out my hair gets like really curly when it's long. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
So that would be one question.
That's one. Okay, good.
Try another strategy on me.
All right, here's future for Sound of Music after opening. I mean, after COVID-19.
Oh, well, we've actually been doing okay. We have a large space, so we can have people in here pretty safely. We're just following the protocols, like we have masks on hand, sanitizer, everything, talk to the clients about their needs and concerns. So we're doing a lot of live streaming right now. We started to pick up also on the recording front, so I think things will be going good. And in a way, I think the live streaming's been good for us because it got us out of our comfort zone, and we've met new people, and done different things that maybe weren't just the way we were used to doing it. And we had to kind of grow some doing that, and we've met new people and gotten some new skills. Really enjoying doing the live streams, and bands are really enjoying it. So, hopefully some of those people are going to come back and record like triple albums with us. That would be cool.
That would be
so you
very
never
cool.
know. I don't know if people still do triple albums.
Well,
Is the Hogs and Dandyland album going to be like a triple album? It's going to be pretty awesome. It's got Mellotron on it. You can't beat some Mellotron on an album. So that's going on.
So when you're live streaming, technically, what are we doing? We're live streaming out to Facebook and then uploading it later to YouTube?
Well, it depends on the client, where the client wants it to go. If they want it to go to their Facebook page, it goes to their Facebook page. This is our Live from Sound of Music show. We do 3 out of 4 Wednesdays, by the way. And don't forget to subscribe. We want more subscribers. So that goes straight to our YouTube page. Where the client streams go is a little bit different. But basically, they're getting a 4-camera shoot and 24-track sound, and they can play and make a live album for themselves later if they want to. So it's pretty good value and all that.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, because in this day and age, a lot of people like to try to do it yourself. You can get by, but the quality that you're going to get here is like, 10x from what you could do with Girardi.
It's good stuff. Who was it again? Stay Solid Rocky was here today.
Ah.
He's got like 73. He's a rapper. He's really nice.
Really?
On Columbia, Sony. They were doing some video shooting today. He's had like 77 million views on his Stay Solid Rocky on one of his things.
Is he from Richmond or?
Not that I know of. No, but he dropped by. You get dropped by sometime. You get to meet interesting new people. So
That's cool.
One cool thing about music. I'm going to hit you though up, Ross.
Okay.
So, what have you? I know you're kind of a Renaissance man. You like to write, you paint, you do a lot of different things. You've had your corporate time in the military. What have you been doing to stretch yourself artistically during this downtime? If you've had downtime, not everybody does.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'd call it totally, but this is one thing you may not. I actually wrote a book in 2019.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, and a publisher had asked me to review a book they were coming out with to write a review on Abraham Maslow, ironically. I did that and said, by the way, would you take a look at this? They said, sure. And I sat on it for almost 9 months. When I contacted him a few weeks ago, he's like, we're booked. We're not going to be able to look at it till sometime next year.
You got to strike while the iron is hot, son.
Exactly. You would think I would have learned that lesson many times.
I'll throw out another saying I learned recently about not procrastinating. It's like, load the wagon, don't worry about the mules.
Right, that's good, right.
Don't create obstacles for yourself.
So the military term for that would be a golf foxtrot that I committed there. But anyway, so I've been doing that, a little writing, we're starting a podcast with this with Foxy Roxy. As
Yeah,
we
tell us a little
mentioned.
bit about that show.
Well, it's just going to be, we're still developing it, but we came in here last week. We did kind of a test run. I'm going to get the video tonight, take a look at it, and see where we're going to go with it. But it's going to be a little, we're going to have to work on where we're going to take it, because she's interested in certain things. I'm interested in certain things. So we got to find kind of a middle ground there. Yeah. But I think, I think it could be fun to do. So.
Any sort of particular type of guest you're looking at getting, or?
Well, I'm looking personally. I've got a lot of interesting old friends. Bruce, some old Army buddies, guys we played football with, some old coach. There's a coach here in Richmond that coached us at St. Bridget's. He's still around. Funny, interesting guy. So guys like that, I would for one group. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. And that's always a challenge, right? Getting good, interesting guests.
Yes, getting good guests and remembering to book guests, because that's why I'm the guest this week, is I was lazy and forgot. But anyway, we're having a good time, so it's all good.
Minus no beer here, I noticed. But
shit, get the fancy Perrier water. It's got bubbles in it.
If it's after 5:30 or 6,
I'm boring. I stay home. So Ross, sing us out, Ross, or say whatever you say to get us out.
Well, I want to thank everyone for being with us tonight. Again, we're live streaming from Sound of Music Studios in Richmond, Virginia. We'd ask you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and spread the word. There's some great old shows that are previous shows and new ones coming out every week. And I think you'll enjoy it.
On our YouTube channel.
Yes. So thanks, everyone, and we will see you soon. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Ross. Good night.
WSOM Richmond.